This is my how-to video on how to make an arrowhead. Join me today as I go over the steps in making an arrowhead, as well as explaining what an arrowhead is and why it is used. An arrowhead, also known as a projectile point, was first crafted and applied roughly 14,000 years ago, following the use of the spear point. The projectile point was primarily used by Paleo-Indians to help them more efficiently hunt and harvest big game animals. The tools we will be using today are a bopper, a pressure flaker, and a piece of leather. The first step in creating an arrowhead is to find a large piece of flint, preferably quartz, chert, or obsidian. These pieces of flint can be found all over the country, and you have more than likely picked one up before. The next step is to use your bopper to break away the outer layer of the flint, also known as the cortex. This is the first step used in shaping the arrowhead. Once we have downsized our flint, we want to create the outline of our arrowhead using the bopper. Just like many different aspects in our life, size does matter. Depending on the type of game we want to hunt, we will shape our arrowhead into the appropriate size that will help us effectively and ethically harvest our animal. For instance, if we want to hunt moose, we would use a larger projectile point compared to an animal that is much smaller, like a white-tailed deer. What we have here is now a proper sized flint that is ready to be used to edge. The next step in our process is to create sharp edges on the side of our point. We will use our pressure flaker and a piece of leather to properly create these edges. It is called a pressure flaker because we use the coercion of our downward force to create a divot in our point. We want to make sure we flip our point for each flake, as it creates a strenuous curve around the side of the point. This method is not only used for aerodynamics, but because of its ultimate effectiveness in ethically dispatching your animal. Our final step is to create what is called notches. These notches are used to help bind the arrowhead to your arrow shaft. These notches help the user apply and tie sinew, which is stranded deer hide, kind of like rope. There are many different types of notches, such as basal, corner, and side. This notch you see here is a side notch. We have now created a complete and useful arrowhead, ready to be applied to an arrow and bow of your choice.